And we're live.
I can't remember what I wanted to talk about. I had a thing though. Oh, well, maybe I'll save that for later. I was going to talk about that audiobook I've been listening to that's really good. But
What is it? I need an audiobook. I'm driving tomorrow.
It's the Helldivers. Helldivers.
Oh,
it's,
2 thumbs up. Is it really good? Where are we?
I really like it. And like, this probably won't be a selling point for you, but like the second book has really got me hooked. But it's free. That's the real selling point, because there's no buying to be done if you've got Audible. Not an Audible ad or anything, but it is free on Audible. It's like free with your subscription. It's I think the first book's like 8 or 9 hours long or something like that. It's good. I like it. You know, it's post-apocalyptic. Everybody, like the last of humanity, is living in these airships sort of above the poisoned earth and poisoned storm clouds that are between. And they have to send these Helldiver guys down to the surface to like scavenge for parts and supplies and fuel and shit like that. And the earth is this poisoned wasteland with these mutated monsters on it that they have to inevitably end up in machine gun fights with. So that's pretty fun. And they're always getting ripped apart and gutted and radiation poisoning, and everybody on the ship is sick and has cancer and they're dying. It's good. Cool. I like it.
Audiobooks are good. I feel like I rediscovered audiobooks a couple years ago. I knew that they existed. It was usually just a way for me to, like, I don't know, learn something new. But now I've been doing audiobook fiction, and it's 8 to 34-hour movies. I really appreciate it when they're performed by an ensemble cast. I might have used ensemble incorrectly, but you know, if it's just one guy doing all the voices, that can be good. If they get a women to do the women voices, a guy, if they get 7 people put together and really perform the book, that's a bonus to me.
That's where we disagree.
Okay.
I always listen to the sample first, you know, to see what I'm getting into, because I want to see what this guy's voice is like. Like, I don't want, there's sometimes like the author will read the book, and I guess some people are into that, and I'm just like, this guy's best talent is writing, not speaking.
Okay.
This is no good. But then the other thing that I really dislike is when a woman reads the book to me. That's the second worst thing that could happen. And then the third worst thing that could happen is if a bunch of people read the book to me. I don't need that. I want one dude. I want one dude, and I want him to do the voices for everyone. And he just has to do a passing job. Like, he doesn't have to nail it to the wall or anything. He just has to do a pretty good job. If he can do a child voice, a woman voice, and nail a few accents, like the guy who's reading this.
Give me the level of child and woman voice from you that like would be acceptable.
What I have to do it myself?
Yeah. Like what do you think?
Yeah. To communicate this idea.
No.
It's like your best one. Like, I'm a woman. I'm doing my best. Oh, I'm Kitty. You do Kitty well. That's pretty good. So you could do something a derivative of that. Like do a nice. Do a child's voice. Just get into the character. Think of yourself with a big lolly and a pin hat. You know, you're skipping
the pinwheel hat.
Pinwheel hat. That's
the propeller hat. Yeah.
The propeller hat. Just picture it.
And give me your best
child.
There's not enough food, sir. Please.
No, that's Oliver Twist. You're cheating.
That's Oliver Twist. That's the first child that came to my mind.
Yeah, you can't emulate a child, and if you
can't just do Oliver Twist.
No, you have to pick a different child. It has to be a unique child.
I'm never gonna have a career as a fucking book reader. Then.
No, man. I read a book.
I don't like the full cast of people. It
was like this hot 20-something-year-old, early 20s. She was young. I don't want some dude doing her. You know, she needs to be doing her own voice.
Now sometimes that's true. If the dude can't do a good girl voice, then I'm out. Like I told you about listening to Red Dragon about a month ago, and the guy had the most gravelly voice.
She turned to Lord Faramir and said, "I'm gushing for you."
That literally happened. That literally happens in Red Dragon. Like, the lady looks to her, like the lady and her husband are in the car, their children in the back seat. So she leans over and whispers, "I want your big cock in me as far as it'll go." And I'm just like,
that's where those big poops come from.
He sounded more and more like a wrestler.
Yeah, no, this girl.
Own that pussy and show it who's boss.
Saturday only.
Yeah. Sunday. Tear me apart.
Cock. Put your cock in as far as it'll go. When Maneater versus the Caracolon. Yeah, it's no good. It's no fun. I don't like that. But if they do a good child voice, like Roy Dotrice, obviously with the Game of Thrones
Fucking
stuff,
sucked. He did 93 variations of old man people. He was fucking horrible, and his worst voice was a horn.
Haru! That's what he did. It was the weakest, most feeble man.
dare you?
Oh, when he died, I bought a cake.
Dare you do it, Roy Dotrice? What a cake!
He was the worst. He was the
Dude,
worst.
speaking of
Cake?
He
Oh,
fucking
no.
ruined those stories. He was terrible. I get it. He did 93 different characters, and they all sounded different. If they all sounded the same. And
I don't think that he
wow.
did a bad job, but I agree that it's not like
he was
all
so
of his,
feeble.
it was rare that you would hear a voice and be like, "Oh wow, I know exactly who this is." It's like, no, I know who this is because I know who the chapter is. Like it's not because
Roy
his
Dotrice
voice
was
well.
so feeble. He is way past his prime. I'm still convinced it's hard to beat like age appropriate actors doing their thing. The girl when I talked about, she was like clever and sarcastic. And it takes a young girl to do the clever, sarcastic girl, right? They nail that like particular kind of thing. Where if some old dude was doing, if Roy Dotrice was doing her, get the fuck out of here.
I do want it to be one guy. I don't want a cast of characters doing voices. Like
Why?
if I'm doing the
Is that
the
how
audio-
you like your TV shows and your
no,
movies?
but it's different.
Yeah.
If I'm doing yes,
I turn closed caption on and I read all the lines to myself when I watch TV.
Dude, my girlfriend hates it. We have to watch every movie on mute. Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
purist. You know what? And that's how I excuse.
Write it
that's
down
how
and
I-
I'll read that question to me. That's what I say.
That's why I can honestly say, "Oh, I love reading." When people ask, yeah, I just read Breaking Bad. I just read South Park. Speaking of which,
Yeah, but check
episode-
out
I haven't
check out
seen
that
it yet.
book if you're looking for something else. There's a bunch of them. Like I'm on book 2, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a lot like Fallout, which is really cool because I love the Fallout series. And I think I've seen like I don't know, there's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 of these things. There's a bunch of them. Really good.